Okay, welcome back. Last time we made our way through Twist Mountain and into Icirrus City, and the plan for today's episode is to challenge, Bryson out of Icirrus City Gym and win our 7th gym badge. However, before we go and do that, I have a couple of things I want to do, namely get my encounter on Route 8 and the Mirror of Icirrus, and introduce my new party member. So we now have Staraptor on the team. Modest-natured, but when it evolved it did gain speed boost, which is kind of really good. And also, on top of that, its moveset currently isn't anything fancy right now. Our encounter for Route 8 is a Slacking. Okay, Slacking could be really good. However, this is going to be me pulling the Magic Curtain of Illusion back. I unintentionally did what I did with episodes 1 and 2 again, so I'm having to watch this episode back and narrate it in post. And as it turns out, I might just be really bad at it, but hey, we found another Slacking. And pretty much, my thought process here is, well, I've already had a Slacking and lost it, so might as well see what else I can get. Okay, so we find TM80, which is Cross Sharp. I don't know what that normally is. You know what? While this is going, I'm going to quickly double check. What is TM80 normally? Also, I seem to just keep finding Slackings here. I guess they must be a common encounter. Oh, TM80 is Rock Slide. That actually makes perfect sense. But our encounter is a Larvitar, which means we can obviously get a potential Tyranitar later in the game. However, I do need to catch it first, so yeah, that's going to be a little bit of an issue, because obviously it is the base form of a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. And I don't really want to hit it, and it just hit me with a Rock Slide, so probably want to switch Staraptor out. On the plus side for Staraptor, because it has speed boost, after 1 or 2 turns, it'll just outspeed everything. So my thought process here is to switch out to Empoleon, mostly just to kind of tank hits. Because realistically, I can't imagine this Larvitar doing all that much damage to Empoleon. However, I can also switch out to Gengar for Nightshade if I need to. Pretty much, I have a couple of workarounds for this. I have Meganium, who has the Rocky Helmet, and I have Gengar, who has Nightshade in it. So I can, I have a couple of options to potentially try to whittle this thing down a little bit. And, yeah. However, the fact that this Larvitar already has Rock Slide is kind of very helpful. Obviously, though, my level cap, even if I add Larvitar to the team right now, once I eventually catch it. Okay, that's Dark Pulse, which, honestly, I'd rather have... Sorry, I just noticed again, like, how Larvitar kind of, how its neck kind of just stretches on its animation there. I had never noticed that before. But yeah, so I'm kind of glad that it has Rock Slide right now, because it means it's going to be a little bit easier to catch, and I can get Gengar into Nightshade a little bit safer. Because obviously, if it had Crunch, that would be significantly more dangerous to me. And honestly, I would quite like to avoid that risk if possible. So I'm just going to keep throwing Ultra Balls until I eventually catch this Larvitar. 1, 2, 3, click. 10 out of 10, we've successfully caught a Larvitar. So, actually, what level does Larvitar evolve? I think it becomes Pupitar at like 30. So if I level that up once, I should get a Pupitar. And then Tyranitar is like level 55 or something. It's a pseudo, so yeah, 50, 55. I'm pretty sure it's 55. But yeah, so we now have a Larvitar, and we find a Float Stone. Every time I ever find the Float Stone, I always want to say it has the same effect as the Air Balloon. It doesn't, it just makes your Pokemon a little bit lighter. I wish it had the same effect as the Air Balloon. If it had the same effect as the Air Balloon, Gengar would be a lot safer. Also, in between episodes, I went and stocked up on more Ultra Balls and, Moo Moo Milks. I also needed to stock up on probably more Moo Moo Milks, because to once again pull back the Magic Curtain of Illusion, I'm recording this after... Well, I'm recording this at 3 PM on the day this episode is supposed to be going up, because I recorded this episode last night, and because I was working on a thing and didn't want to have multiple audio tracks recording at once, yeah, I ended up having only the game sound recording. So I ended up narrating this entire episode, and it didn't, and there wasn't an audio track recording for it. So, yeah, that's on me. I don't have an excuse for it. And, yeah, here we are. So, yeah. Okay, we found a pearl string. I've also learned on this route that it's kind of just insane Pokemon. So I need to fight this Pokemon Ranger to get onto the Moor of Icirrus. The Moor of Icirrus does have a special event tied to it that I could do with Keldeo. However, it's only in Black and White 2, so even though I have a Keldeo, I can't do it. When I eventually do a playthrough of Black and White 2, I will... Like, when I eventually do a playthrough of Black and White 2, I probably will do a thing so I can show the events with Keldeo, Meloetta, and Genesect. Mostly just because I feel like it would be kind of nice to show them. So I'm switching out to Gengar here and just going for Shadow Ball. I'd never noticed how just kind of ominous the spike noise is. But yeah, basically, I feel confident going out to Gengar here because I know it doesn't have Shadow Ball, because I know that it doesn't have it because it's a stone evolution. I think it naturally learns Power Gem at like somewhere in the high 40s or something. Actually, I can double check that, can't I? And we also find a Dome fossil. At the time, I didn't know if it was whatchamacallit. I wasn't sure if I'd already got one. Like, I wasn't sure if the Dome fossil was a fossil that I had revived yet. So pretty much, I will be going back to Icirrus City in this episode to revive the fossil, just to make sure. As it turns out, the Dome fossil is the Pidgeotto, and our encounter for the Moor of Icirrus was a Squirtle. Yeah, the Dome fossil turns out to be a Pidgeotto, which I've already had one before, so I don't claim it in this episode, but I will be coming back to either Route 8 or the Moor of Icirrus to use that as a token encounter for one of those areas. And hey, that's currently my line of thinking for this. Okay, so now I just need to attempt to catch this Squirtle. And once again, I'm not too sure about trying to whittle it down. I feel like Nightshade should be the play. But honestly, at the same time, it is a first form Pokemon. So I'm still a little bit worried about it, even though realistically I probably shouldn't be. It's level 32, there's no way it'll have less than like 42 health or something. Wait, is Gengar level 43? Whatever, close enough. Either way, hey, all we need to do now is catch this, Squirtle, and that is a potential Blastoise. Honestly, it's a little bit weird seeing Squirtle have access to Skull Bash so early. Honestly, I feel like Skull Bash is one of those Pokemon moves that I kind of just forget exists. Like, it's one of those moves that I really kind of feel like it only existed in the anime. Like, Ash's Squirtle used Skull Bash fairly regularly, but it's like, so few Pokemon in the actual game learn it. Actually, you know what? Once again, I'm going to double check. What learns Skull Bash by level up in games? Skull Bash, there it is. Okay, so as of Gen 9, well, it's not in Gen 9, in Gen 8, it is the Squirtle line, Barbaracle, Avalugg, Tapu Bulu, Celesteela, and Sandaconda. Then Mankey and Primeape can get it in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then just a few Pokemon can learn it as an egg move. Like, Skull Bash is one of the moves that Pokemon seems to forget. Anyway, so I am going to Nightshade to whittle down this Squirtle just a little bit more. Obviously, because Gengar is a ghost, the Skull Bash can't connect, and now we just throw Ultra Balls at it until this thing eventually decides it wants to come with us. However, it is a starter Pokemon, so it still might take a little bit of doing. It might take a little bit of time to catch this thing. Because hey, that's just how they go sometimes. Never mind, that's a crit throw. So basically, every now and then you'll throw the ball and you'll hear like the jet noise, and the ball will like kind of shake in the air. That's basically a guaranteed catch. I feel like it must be possible for the Pokemon to break out of one, but I don't think I've ever seen it happen. Not that I can recall anyway. The Squirtle is Lax Nature, it currently has Terra Volt, and Lax Nature is plus physical defense minus special defense, which obviously isn't ideal because I would like to have good defensives for both, but hey, can't really complain about a solid defensive Pokemon. We find a Premier Ball and a Saw. I should be able to run away from this, because I don't think Sawk should have Stone Edge yet. Wait, does Sawk actually learn Stone Edge by level up? 10 out of 10, you know, now that I'm doing a kind of commentary in post, it is kind of nice to be able to just go back and double check. It doesn't even learn Stone Edge by level up, in Gen 5 at least. Like, it learns that as entirely fighting and normal type moves, which actually does make a lot of sense, so a lot of fighting types do that. Like, a lot of pure fighting types do. Okay, I could have had an Azurill. I am very much glad that I didn't get that. Mostly because, honestly, I'm playing this with randomized abilities. Azumarill is more than likely going to be garbage, because it won't have Thick Fet, so its defensive options are going to be worse. It won't have huge power, so its offensive options aren't going to be as good. Fairy type doesn't exist yet, so it won't be able to get Play Rough. Yeah, basically, if I had gotten an Azumarill in this game, I would be a lot less happy about having it than if I did in a later game without randomized ability. Anyway, so now I'm going to quickly go and heal because we have a couple of other things to do today. To be totally honest, I didn't think it would take me 12 minutes to get, 2 encounters, but hey, here we are. Anyway, so pretty much so what we're going to do now is go and grab Golurk from the PC. Honestly, still funny to me that Golurk can just fly, but hey, here we are. So we also put our Larvitar and our Squirtle into the PC. I've come to a realization about the Pokemon I have in the PC, and I have a lot of really good ones, but at the same time, they cover a lot of the same weaknesses. Like, I have a lot of really good Pokemon, but a lot of them have the same weaknesses, which is kind of holding me back on wanting to put them all on the team at the same time. But hey, I'll figure that out for myself at a later time. Also, I unintentionally flew back to Striaton City. I do still need to get my encounter in Striaton City, and also in Driftvale and a couple of other places. Like, I do have like a little whistle-stop tour of encounters that I could go and do. I might do that in the next episode, or maybe the one after. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so now it's time to go and revive this Dome fossil. As it turns out, I have I have revived a Dome fossil before, because that was a Pidgeotto. Oh. And as a result, this Pidgeotto is going to be switched out for a token that I can use on either Route 8 or the Moor of Icirrus at a later time. I don't know why I'm specifically applying a rule to it's like, oh, it can only be used in one of these two areas. I want to say it's because it's like the surrounding areas to where I found the fossil, but I don't know. That's something I might just change my mind on arbitrarily at a later time. Anyway, time to put this Pidgeotto into the box, just because realistically we don't need it. However, we also learned that Pidgeotto can have Serene Grace, which is its other ability, and honestly, I think I would rather have the one with Serene Grace than the one with Wonder Skin, but at the same time, I don't think I can, because I feel like it would be kind of cheating if I switched it out for... Like, if I have two of the same thing, I feel like it would be kind of cheating if I just switched it out for the better one. Anyway, Also, I do have that live hard because I had to catch one in episode 2 just to have a Pokemon to use Cut, because you only need Cut once in this game. Like, there are a couple of other times you can use it, but there's only one time in the game where it's necessary to move on. Okay, so now let's quickly deposit Golurk in BC, and now we can finally get onto the gym. Because the gym is going to be, well, you know, the main part of this episode. But because of Icirrus gym, honestly, after the last one, I'm a little bit worried. I mean, realistically, I think Clay was a nice distraction, and then we got right back to being threatened by things. So our next gym leader is Bryson, the Ice Mask. Okay, hey Clyde, what's going on? And Clyde once again gives us some fresh water. Ice can be melted with fire or shattered with fighting. Or you might want to smash it into dust with rock or steel. And obviously, as you can see by my team, I don't have most of those. Like, I have Metal Claw on Empoleon, but that's just about it. Okay, so there are... I want to say there's like 5 or 6 trainers in this gym before I get to Bryson. And first up, this guy has Icirrus. You know, if you asked me name a Pokemon to be threatened by, Icirrus would not be on the list. Okay, Icirrus has Frisk, and we just hit it with an Aerial Ace. Honestly, kind of surprising that the Icirrus took the hit, but it just baton passes out into an Execute. I don't get the line of thinking here. It's like, okay, I'm gonna baton pass out. Like, even if it had outsped and baton passed out to the Execute, it would have just walked right into a super effective move. I don't get it. Anyway, Execute gets taken out by a second Aerial Ace. I feel like the modest nature really hit me there, because, you know, it didn't one-shot. I should be able to just quick attack and finish off this Icirrus though. I'm going to go for Aerial Ace, just because. As it does have a mountain of PP, so I feel pretty okay using it for pretty much anything. And last up is a Mightyena. Mightyena with Sandstream. I feel like so many Pokemon in this game have had Sandstream. But I feel like a disproportionate number of Pokemon have had Sandstream. Okay, we get hit with Swagger. So we go up to +2 physical attack, but we get confused. Not exactly ideal, especially when we're taking Sandstorm damage. But hey, we do get a Speed boost. The second boost there was not necessary. Aerial Ace, we hit ourselves in confusion, but we get taunted. If that Mightyena had gone for like Takedown or Crunch or something there, I am like 99% sure that Staraptor would have died. But hey, I'm not taking any more chances. I'm just going to go out to Meganium. It goes for Assurance, and then probably did about as much damage as it did to Meganium in just recoil from the Rocky Helmet. Then it takes the Sandstorm damage. It takes a hit from Magical Leaf. Then hits Assurance again, and reflected Rocky Helmet damage. It defeats the Mightyena. One thing I will say about, this gym, and honestly a lot of ice gyms in Pokemon in general, is I've always quite liked ice floor puzzles. Like, I don't think they're ever particularly complicated in Pokemon, but I've always been quite fond of them. Honestly, I don't think I've ever really seen them much outside of Pokemon, but I've always quite liked them. They're always quite simple, quick, easy to do. I don't mind them. And this girl has a Deoxys, which, obviously, as you can see by my team, nothing on my team appreciates a Deoxys. So, basically, I'm working on the logic here of what has the best special defense, because Gengar will get obliterated. Staraptor will get obliterated. So it narrows it down to Meganium or Empoleon, and then it does that much to Meganium in one hit, so we switch out to Empoleon. I'm just going to switch out to Empoleon for my own safety, because I don't want to lose anything if I can avoid it. And since Psychic is now resisted, Honestly, big crit, that's still very scary. But I know the odds of me getting critted twice in a row are very low. So we go for a bubble beam. We are on very low health. We got, we got one speed drop, but that doesn't matter because we can just Aqua Jet. Fortunately for me, Deoxys was made of paper. If Deoxys had better defenses, that could have just kind of ripped a hole in the team, even without any real hassle. Also, this gym is comically dangerous. Like, this gym is absolutely comically dangerous. As you can see, we're about to go over here and jump over that frozen chasm. If you miss that and you fall, like, dead instantly, like, you aren't getting back out of that. Like, if you don't have a flying type Pokemon, if you don't have like, a Pokemon that could fly, or like hover itself back up or something, you know, break your fall, like, that would just be death. Because that's just a frozen chasm. Honestly, insanely unsafe gym design. Anyway, so as I was saying earlier, yeah, I quite like ice floor puzzles. I've always quite liked those. But if there is one type of puzzle in games that I have never been able to stand, I have always hated this little type of puzzle. It's like the sliding tile puzzles. I've always hated having to do those in every game I've ever encountered them in. And I think part of my issue with it is, I think it comes from when I encountered them at a young age. Basically, I remember playing Theme Park World a lot when I was a kid. And you could unlock a camcorder, where you could then kind of walk around your own theme park that you've built in first person. Also, we now have to fight a Jirachi. Jirachi is a little bit of an inconvenience because it is a Mew-like, it is a mythical Pokemon, so it has base 100 in all stats, so it can't, so it's a little bit of a pain. And so I will continue the thought about sliding tile puzzles in just a minute. Okay, not going out to Gengar was definitely the play there. Because if I'd gone out to Gengar, I think Zen Headbutt probably just one-shot. I'm just going to stick it out with Empoleon and just Bubble Beam my way to victory. It goes for Rest, so we should be okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going to Bubble Beam my way to victory. Big crit. Now that I see it, Jirachi is kind of cute, the sleepy Pokemon. It just looks so tired. Anyway, so with that, we just annihilate that. Jirachi dealt with. And here comes a Bidoof. So I'm still personally upset at Bidoof. Because if you recall, I had an Electivire once. My starter in this playthrough was an Electivire. And I lost my Electivire to a Bidoof in the first gym. I lost my Bidoof to I lost my Electivire to a Bidoof in the first gym because I went for whatchamacallit, Thundershock. I was going for Thundershock thinking, oh, I have low kick, but I'd rather, you know, it's a really light Pokemon, so it won't do all that much damage. I then went for Thundershock. It then was on the third turn of Rollout, got +2 because of a Staff Berry, and then hit me with Rollout and killed my Electivire. Funnily enough, I haven't had an Electric type since. I don't think I've had an Electric type since. Like, I think it just killed the game world's... I think the game world afterwards just went, no, you are not having an Electric type anymore. Which, honestly, valid. Okay, so... yeah, whatchamacallit? Yeah, sliding tile puzzles. Always hated those things. I think it comes from the camcorder in, whatchamacallit, Theme Park World. Because you could walk around your theme park, and you could do the dino carts, so they were great. You could do the roller coasters, which I never really bothered with because they were kind of an annoyance to make. But you could also go and play some of the mini-games, and one of the mini-games were these sliding tile puzzles, and I could never do them. And it's always been I don't know, I've just never liked that type of puzzle, and they've bugged me every single time I've ever encountered one in a game. However, I do know that at some point I am going to confront one again, because I am fairly certain that there's one in Resident Evil 4. Like, I don't know for certain, but I'm relatively certain that I've seen one in Resident Evil 4. Like, the original version of RE4, not the remake. I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen much of the remake. Because, well, I haven't played the original. I'll play the original, and then I'll play the remake. Also, this is me kind of, once again, pulling back the curtain of illusion. This is not me announcing I'm doing RE4 in October. I have a couple of other Resident Evils before I get there. I still have 0, and I still have Code Veronica to do. I have like Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3. I have a good few other horror games to potentially do before I get to RE4. And that is a Icirrus. Okay. Icirrus, very scary. Don't like having... Like, that is a threatening Pokemon. I'm just going to go to Empoleon, because Empoleon would be my best bet to take a hit from it. Honestly, realistically, maybe Meganium would have been the play. Because I think this thing probably has Dual Chop. Like, it more than likely has Dual Chop. So I could, in fact, just reflect a whole bunch of damage back with the Rocky Helmet. We go for the Metal Claw, and we get a crit. So I'm going to keep going for Metal Claw because our water moves would be resisted. And obviously we don't really want to have to deal with that. We Metal Claw again, get a second crit in a row, and now we just Aqua Jet for the win. So down goes Icirrus, and Empoleon hits level 44. Remember, because of the Ace rule, Empoleon's level cap is level 46, and all of my other Pokemon are 44. So I'm going to switch out to Gengar here, predicting a jump kick or a high jump kick, and we just read that Mienfoo like a book, and we just finish it off with a Shadow Ball. And with that, I believe that is the final gym trainer before we fight the gym leader. I think. I'm pretty sure Bryson is the next trainer. So, yeah, let's go and fight for this gym badge. Hopefully this won't go too badly. I have to specify too badly, but hey, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so first things first, I want to patch up my Pokemon, because I'd quite like to be on full health going into, you know, an important gym battle. I mean, any gym battle is important, but hey, you get what I mean. Okay, so my team is all healed up. Away we go. You appear ready to face a gym leader. Then, bring it. Okay, so, now we have to fight Bryson. He would also appear again in Black and White 2 as kind of like the main guy at PokéStar Studios, and he is leading with an Oddish. Honestly, after Skylar led with a Mewtwo, that is a very concern. After Skylar led with a Mewtwo and how concerning that was, seeing an Oddish is honestly a breath of fresh air. Okay, we hit level 41. We don't need Agility because we have Speed Boost. And what is his second Pokemon? His second Pokemon is a Uxie. Uxie I'm not too worried about offensively because it's the most defensive of the Lake Guardians. Because Uxie is like the defensive one, Mesprit is the kind of all-rounder, and Azelf is the offensive one, I think. However, we also aren't hitting it very hard. Which is kind of a problem. Because, you know, it's just a bit of a pain. Okay, so we got hit by Yawn and we now fall asleep. I am going to switch out to Meganium. I'm going to switch out to Meganium and set up a light screen. Mostly just out of fear for Psychic, because Psychic is very scary. And also to lure any future Sight damage. Actually, I don't even know if this thing has Psychic. It has Yawn. I know it has Yawn. I know it has Yawn. I know it has Swift. I know it has Future Sight. It's not exactly a great sign when I recorded this last night and I've already forgotten what it has. Anyway, at this point, I feel confident that it mustn't have... confident that it mustn't have Psychic, so I feel okay switching out to Gengar and just going for Shadow Ball. Doesn't quite knock it out, which isn't ideal for me, because I know he's going to heal, so I'm going to switch out to Empoleon. I switch out to Empoleon this way, because I know I wasn't going to one-shot him, because he's going to heal. Basically, he's going to heal, Gengar would have then taken a Future Sight hit, and fallen asleep because of Yawn. So, yeah, going to Empoleon was definitely the play there, and I can chip away at him a little bit with Bubble Beam. We get hit with another Yawn, which is a bit of a problem. But hey, we can always just switch back out if need be. But I'm going to go for another Bubble Beam. Aim to whittle it down kind of into the yellow, and from here, a Shadow Ball from Gengar should be enough to finish him off. So, with that, hopefully we should be okay. I still don't think this thing's shown its fourth move. Anyway, we just land the Shadow Ball, take out the Uxie, and we can move on to his final Pokemon. No, I'm going to quickly double check what was Uxie's moveset. And his last Pokemon is a Reuniclus. I know Reuniclus has very high special attack, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to switch Gengar out immediately, because I don't know if I one-shot with Shadow Ball, and I know that I will get one-shot with Psychic. And Reuniclus at level 47 more than likely has Psychic. So we switch out to Empoleon, and we take a Psychic for a decent chunk of damage, and then we get hit by a Future Sight. So now, fearing the worst, I'm going to switch out to Meganium. We're going to switch out to Meganium. This way I can set up Light Screen to kind of just reduce the amount of damage I take from Psychic. But Psychic hits for, like, 73. I know that Meganium is, like, weirdly fast, so I just go for Synthesis here. So I go for Synthesis, he goes for Psychic again, and I'm starting to realize going for Synthesis will be diminishing returns for me. However, I do gain one benefit from this. He is eating through his PP for Psychic, and that could be everything. So I'm going to switch out to Empoleon. And basically just to kind of like tank hits a little bit better for a bit. It goes for Dizzy Punch. He goes for Dizzy Punch, I assume because it would have seen the kill on Meganium. Empoleon is still asleep. He goes for a Psychic, which drops us to 29 HP, and we now are asleep on 29 HP and got a special defense drop. So at this point, I have to make a call, and it's basically something has to die. I have to make the decision here, because either Empoleon dies to Psychic this turn, Gengar gets obliterated by Psychic, Meganium gets obliterated by Psychic, or I switch to my sleeping Staraptor and basically sacrifice Staraptor's life. So Psychic, honestly, to my surprise, Staraptor survived it. Obviously, it doesn't wake up turn 1, and we die to another Psychic. So, unfortunately, Staraptor was introduced and died within 35 minutes. It did not have a very long life in this series. So, we go back out to Meganium. I go for Synthesis again. I assume he's going to go for Dizzy Punch here. Because it probably sees for kill again. But no, he goes right back to using Psychic. And once again, diminishing returns. But the most important thing here is we are eating through his PP for Psychic. And that's all that matters to me right now. Because once he runs out of Psychics, Gengar can take him. So I can just Synthesis my way through. Ooh. Okay, he goes for another Dizzy Punch. And, you know, we get a little bit of chip because of the Rocky Helmet. We now set up the Light Screen, which is very good for me. Turns out he wasn't out of psychics, but now we survive because of that. And now I'm in a bit of a quandary. Because I don't know if he's out of psychics, I haven't been keeping count. And I know that both Meganium and Empoleon are super low, and I'm trying to decide, like, I probably have to sack something. What do I do here? So in the end, what do I do, actually? I'm watching this back, I don't know. Okay, so I go for Magical Leaf. And he Pain Splits. This is possibly the single biggest throw he could have made. He Pain Splits, and he effectively just heals me. Then he skill swaps, so now we know it's full moveset. Psychic, Dizzy Punch, skill swap. Psychic, Dizzy Punch, skill swap, and Pain Split. So he heals, but I'm now pretty much in full control of this battle. There's nothing he can do now. Oh. So I'm kind of like feeling it out for a couple more turns, waiting to see if he has, you know, just one more Psychic hanging at the back. But at this point, I feel pretty okay saying that he doesn't. So I set up one more light screen, just on the off chance that he does. But now, oh, obviously he's hit himself pretty low, and it's time for me to switch out, go out to Gengar, and then I can just finish him off with a Shadow Ball. Oh, and with that, we should be able to finish off our 7th Urge. Also, because of this, we get skill swapped to having Lightning Rod. If Gengar had had Lightning Rod right out of the gate, that would actually be super helpful, because that would give it A, an electric immunity, and B, it would give him a special attack boost every single time it got hit by an electric move, and it wouldn't take damage, so that'd be super good. But with that, we win. In honor of your stout heart, I will give you this. So we now have earned the Freeze Badge. That is Gym Badge number 7. Once again, my level cap will get updated at the start of the next episode, but I think it's level 49 now. You have 7 badges. That means Pokemon up to level 80 will obey you. This TM will convey my regard for your accomplishments. Yeah, we aren't going to be using Fury Swipes. A move that always results in a critical hit. Frost Breath. Also, Frost Breath, I think, has the potential to be good because it always crits. But also, at the same time, also comically dangerous. Like, nothing there. Like, no barrier, nothing. Actually might be trying to kill challenges. I've been talking with Bianca, and I've been wondering, since we left from New Town, has something about me changed? Thinking about what I want to do, thinking about what I should do, it felt like there was nothing. Have I really become stronger, or is it really just my Pokemon that have? I don't know anymore. Hey, cheer up, Sharon. Isn't it nice to see everyone? You know what? This time, I'll go to the Pokemon Fan Club. I'm really searching for what I want to do and what I can do. Who are you? Who? Us? I'm Bianca. This is Sharon. I know you're there. Why don't you show yourselves? So now we find the Shadow Triad again. Impressive, Gym Leader of Icirrus City. We, the Shadow Triad, are beings of the shadows, and not easily noticed. Our mission was to speak with him by himself, but so be it. Getsus has a message for you. Come to the Dragon Spiral Tower. It's there that our Lord N waits for you. Now, our mission is complete. Dragon Spiral Tower? What's going on? Hey, tell me. And with that, they disappear. Now, hang on. Young man, if you're here for a gym challenge, hang on for a bit. I've got to head to the Dragon Spiral Tower. I'm going too. To the north of here, right? Whoa, what should I do? For now, I have to go to the Dragon Spiral Tower. Okay, I'm heading north. Okay, cool. Hope was a wonderful thing. Look, I don't remember if that's actually the line. I haven't played House of the Dead 4 for a very long time. Anyway, I'm gonna heal and end off today's episode here, because, well, I need to put Staraptor into the death box, and I need to decide on, you know, maybe 1 or 2 new Pokemon to add to the team. As of the time of me re-recording this narration, I have decided on 1 new Pokemon for the team, but hey, that'll turn up in my next episode, won't it? I quickly just take the amulet coin off it and deposit Staraptor into the death box alongside all of my other really good Pokemon that have died. But hey, what am I gonna do? Anyway, so I am going to end off today's episode here. Capsule Monster Coliseum will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. Pokemon will be Tuesday, Thursday. I'm aiming to get the Figuring Out Fighters episode on 2XKO done, and hopefully out by the end of next week. But it's very nearly done. I'm hoping I can get it done and fully and finished and out by the end of next week. But I'm going to end off today's episode here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any buttons down below if you feel so inclined, and I will hopefully see you all either on Monday for Capsule Monster Coliseum, next Tuesday for more Pokemon, or whenever I get that Figuring Out Fighters episode done. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.